We're here for season 7, episode 8 with Rich I Am. How's it going, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Pretty good, man. So, can you give some background information about yourself?
Jamaican,
Okay.
producer,
Mm-hmm.
now artist. Well, I call myself a vocalist. You gotta like perform to be an artist first. So I'm like taking steps. But I've been making music since I was 12, as far as
Really?
writing goes.
Writing, yep.
So I started writing lyrics, like writing poetry and all that. And I used to turn my essays into poetry, like
Okay.
for school.
Yep.
So that's how I learned how to structure music. And then at 16, I started producing.
What was your first program you used?
OFL.
Fruity Loops, yep.
Yeah, I used that. Then I stopped probably at like 18
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to mess with pads.
Mm-hmm.
So then I went to the Akai stuff.
Yep. Like the pads and the
Yeah,
keyboards,
the pads
yep.
and the keyboard. But when I first bought it, I thought that it was sounds in the keyboard. So I got played. So I was still using FL Studio with that.
Yep.
This is before I even knew how to sample. Like I was still trying to figure out how they was making beats like that.
Mm-hmm.
Until one day I think I was watching something with the Heatmakers or Just Blaze, one of them two, and I googled the song that I heard. I don't know if it was Breathe.
I don't know.
No, Fab. Like yeah, Just Blaze did Breathe for Fab.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I heard that, he dropped the Loso's Way, and I listened to the instrumental on on that joint. And I was like, yo, there's no way these dudes are making these beats
Yeah.
from original sounds. Like, so then when I Googled the song, that's when I saw the original song.
And then you were like, that's sampling.
And I was like, oh,
And
that's
it seems
when-
like that's your bag now, because like the songs that I've heard, that you've been killing it with your sampling, bro.
yeah, but people don't know the most recent joints I did outside of West End, it's not a sample.
Really?
That's my voice.
Wow. Okay. So,
So
how did you do that process?
it just happened because I never tried to record myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I would always feel like the only thing that was missing in my music was the vocals. So when I started making these songs, I stopped looking for samples.
Just
I would
started doing it on your own.
I just played like melodies because I put it all in front of me like this. Like I had the mic like this, I have the machine right here and the keyboard.
Oh, wow.
So that's how I do it all at one time. And once I find a melody, I just start humming.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like I'm chanting in my head, and all these melodies start coming out.
And then it just like
Then
comes with
I
it.
just kept layering it,
Yeah.
and then some of them started to sound like sounds. So I'll just tweak the frequency
Almost
of the
like a little
voice.
hi-hat or something.
Yeah, like I'll tweak. Like if I do harmonies in the background, I'll tweak it to make it sound like it's a part of the beat.
That's sweet. Yeah.
That's what I did in West End. And West End is not. It's not a lot of sounds in there. It's probably like just the sample and the drums and the snare and the hi-hats. The rest of it is like harmony, so it sounds like I got other sounds in there.
Yeah.
Once I learned how to do that, like that changed everything.
That's fire, bro.
Yeah, that changed
What?
everything for me.
Damn.
But that's what birthed every song from West End up.
Mm-hmm.
Me doing that first.
Just with all the sample, not even sample.
Like, not
Would
even
you
sample,
consider that a sample if you're sampling yourself?
That's a good question.
See-
Because it is, but then it's yours, so it's still
Yeah.
original.
Okay, yes, it
You know what I'm
is.
saying?
I feel like that's what Tyler the Creator did a lot on Igor. He was like using people's voices as instruments in it, like, so it's kind of like a sample, but kind of like a feature. Like you're featuring yourself at part of the beat. I don't know. I noticed that you said music has always been the way for you to express yourself without using words. So can you speak a little bit more about that with your beat making process?
The best way to describe it is if you listen to the beats that I did for people,
Mm-hmm.
they're like hard, like some grimy but airy.
Yeah.
Like that's how I feel when it comes to just making them organically.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started making it for myself, that kind of switched.
It was a different feeling.
Yeah, it was a different feeling. It was like I was pulling out energy inside of me that I didn't know was there.
Mm-hmm. Because then, like, no matter what, the whole product was yours. Like you were gonna be making. You're a man of many talents, so you were going and you're making the beat, then you're sitting down with the beat and making the lyrics. Almost like I bet you were doing the lyrics while you're making the beat.
Yeah, I do everything at one time.
Bro, that's so awesome.
So I don't write down the lyrics and nothing like that for no song.
Wow.
Like
Okay.
I
It just
go.
comes to you.
Yeah, it comes. I record it. I'll let whatever loop. I usually make the entire song off of just the melody and the snare hitting, just so I could be on beat and be able to switch up. That's why in Bending Frequencies
Oh,
I was able
okay.
to switch up so much, and it sounded like I wasn't even on the beat anymore. But then I figured out how to stay on it, finding
That's
like pockets inside of the recording.
Mm-hmm.
So every time if you're producing, you just making beats, you're gonna keep stacking sounds on top of sounds, thinking it sounds hard,
Yeah.
not realizing that the human voice is the most important instrument. So if you listen to most of the
that's
hits and
key.
you take the voice off, there's really nothing there.
Mm-hmm. The voice makes
The
the hit.
voice makes the music.
Yeah. That's interesting, man. Wow.
Yeah. So that would explain the journey from dropping the instrumental album
Mm-hmm.
to me just getting on it myself.
Okay. And what did you like doing better? You like doing it with yourself?
I think the only way for me to create what I hear in my head, which is I hear and feel like I'm about to create a new sound.
Yeah.
Like I feel it coming.
It's like bubbling in you.
Yeah, I feel it brewing. Like I can't record music right now because it's like I'm still experiencing. I didn't
Okay.
notice that
Mm-hmm.
before. I didn't know that your experiences in life shape your art.
And now you
Now,
realize.
now I understand.
It's like adding the culture to you.
Now I get it because when I made those group of songs, I did all those songs in a 72-hour span.
Damn.
I just dropped them week after week.
Yeah.
So people thought that, oh, he's there, he's making no.
It was
I
just
did
one session.
One session I did all them songs, all those new songs. And when I finished Bending Frequencies, that's when I just started moving around.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the energy for the music was pulling me around to experience what I just recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And that's why you went out to LA?
yeah,
In
I
New
went
York.
to LA, Florida, New Orleans. I was just following the energy.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me realize I was experiencing life. Like the music is allowing me to experience life to make more.
Music.
Yeah,
That is almost more wise music because you're giving the insight of all the experience you had.
exactly. And I feel like
Interesting.
that's the only way the music is gonna connect. I feel
Yeah.
like what I just did was a test drive,
Mm-hmm.
and what I'm about to do is gonna be the real thing.
Okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah. So everything I just did, right? That's why I wanted it all to go. Because if I didn't drop these, I probably never would have dropped them.
Mm-hmm. You want to get them out there. That's
Yeah,
what
so-
Gary Vaynerchuk said. Just get that music out there, no matter
Yeah.
what.
That's how I felt. I felt like I had to push it all out if I want to come back and record new music.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I'm about to create the new sound. That's how I feel. I feel it coming.
I'm excited to hear it, man. Your voice is another worldly, man. We were listening to it on the way here, and everybody fucks with it, man. Like, it's
I
fire,
appreciate
bro.
it.
So, where did you get your beat tag from, actually? Because that shit is dope.
I'm a spiritual person, man. So I know this gift doesn't come from me.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look in the Bible and stuff like that, I am means God.
Okay.
So I'm basically saying thank you. That's why my name is Rich I Am.
Like, thank you, God.
Yeah, so I'm saying thank you for this gift.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to just have it with Rich I Am, but the I Am just sounded like a movie was coming.
Yeah. I feel you.
So that's why I kept it like that, kept it short.
And it just hits, like, before I even knew you, I heard that tag, and I thought it was up there with all the other tags, man. I'll be honest. Like, it was dope, and it definitely, like, I noticed, like, recently, past couple years, I think 2017, 2018, and 19, tags have definitely been a big thing for producers, and it kind of gets them, like, out there. So people that are not really musicians or creatives, they can be like, oh, that's so-and-so, or that's Metro Boomin, you know what I mean? They'll know. So I think that was very dope. Who are your biggest influences for both production and for your music?
For the production, it came from the whole era with when The Rock was hot and Dipset was coming up.
Okay.
So it was just Blaze and the Heat Makers,
Mm-hmm.
because I was heavy with the sampling. I didn't know how to play no chords.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as far as playing music goes, I could feel it better than I could play it.
That makes sense, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't read sheet music to find
It's,
keys.
it's
I
just
mean,
the vibe that comes
yeah,
with you. Yeah.
I just hear whatever's. I hear when it's right,
Hmm.
and that's how I make the music.
I feel like that's almost better though.
It is.
Sometimes that means it's like someone that can read sheet music. I feel like that's hard work and like, but that's talent. And if you can really use your talent, then it just
If you could just let it flow, it comes
yeah,
out in a way that nobody would expect it to come out.
yeah. That's dope, man. So how important is it to you to know how to do every process in song making with like you were saying earlier that you have the keyboard in front of you, you're recording right there. How important is it for you to just be in your zone, do your own shit and not have to worry about someone mixing it later or doing it like it's all you?
It's like the difference between working a 9 to 5 and being an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And one
Interesting.
and when you work a 9 to 5, you have those 8 hours or less
Mhm.
to do work on that craft. When you're an entrepreneur, you have 24 hours.
I like that. Yeah.
So with the music, if I could do everything myself, I don't have to go to a place and wait and sit and have to control the energy while I'm there.
You make the energy
Yeah,
yourself.
exactly. You control everything. So I have more time to put into the music than the average. It's like, you ever seen the quote when Kobe was like, he knew he was good. He knew he won because he realized he could put in more time than you when he was
Mhm.
coming in the
Yeah.
league. I didn't know what he meant, but now I know what he means. So I turned my bedroom into a studio since I was 16.
Mhm.
So I've been in the studio for 24 hours a day,
Every day.
every day, and I didn't realize that until I started recording music.
Interesting. Like when you were just making beats, it was something
Yeah,
different.
it was different. It was like a different world. When I started recording music, that's when like everything just opened up, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh shit,
Damn, bro.
like
And that's when it gets real because you see the progression. If you do it every day, you aren't gonna realize till a week, 2 weeks down the line that you've made so much progress in that time.
but that's what you're hearing. You're hearing, if you want to skip to the love games, that was me
Yeah.
practicing.
Okay. You had LOVER. You did it. You were practicing each song.
Yeah, I was practicing songs, and this is when Michi and Bria had the beats and treats for the Valentine's Day.
Okay. Yep.
So I was
I remember seeing that.
I don't really make I wasn't really making R&B music.
Mhm.
Oh, I thought my beats weren't R&B ish. I didn't think you can make R&B music on my beats
Yeah. I
until
feel
I
you.
did it myself. But I was practicing.
I thought you were in your bag for that though.
Hmm?
Like it sounded like some of your best beats
Uh,
for
it's,
me.
it's because that's when I started doing it this way, having everything in front of me
Mhm. Okay.
instead of making the beat first and then trying to write a song to it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it as I'm going. So it was all the songs are in order. Like you're hearing the first one is the first one I did.
Mhm.
I just put them in order and just let it fly.
Okay.
So
That explains everything. Yeah.
yeah. So you're hearing, and you gotta think about it too. Like that was in like a span of a month.
Mhm.
Like me recording every day. I went to LA in like midway December, and as soon as I came back the first day, I recorded midway December until like halfway in January every day.
Mhm.
So all the music you're hearing is me growing in a short amount of time.
L is basically from you at the beginning. Then you go once you get to art, it's like you've seen the evolution, the growth of the artist. That's sweet, bro.
Because E and R was the last two songs I did the day before I dropped them. I did both of those songs,
Mhm.
one after the other.
Did they
So,
just come to you?
yeah, it just came out.
And when you were out there, who was in the studio with you?
We're in Cali.
Mhm.
The first artist I worked with out there was Mano.
Okay. Word.
I'm doing a single for him. We still ain't finished it. He just did a verse.
Mhm.
After that, I was just like out there experiencing, like exploring LA, like going through
Yeah.
experiences. And when I would try to record, I couldn't even record out there. Like it wasn't
Really?
time. Like
Mhm.
I realized that now. Like when you're a producer and you're trying to get music to artists, and you actually get in contact with them, you like, yo, why they not going on my beats?
Yeah.
But when you go to the other side and you realize that you got to experience life to be able to make the music, you understand why your music is not going to hit them as soon as they get it, unless your music is the same way. Unless your music corresponds to how they feel right now, for how they going through their life,
Yeah.
and that's the easiest way for you to connect with an artist as a producer.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah. That's how you did it.
Yeah. So
And that was for love games. That's what you decided to do. Interesting. And when you're sitting there and you're experiencing it, you're just sitting there in the moment. You try to stay there, not thinking about your next move or anything. You really want to just live and then take that experience and then write it in your music, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
That's interesting, man.
And it's not even something that you could force.
Yeah.
Like it just happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't planned at all.
Damn. I think that the best shit is the most spontaneous shit.
I agree.
Because it's like, I feel like that's really life, when you just go with the flow instead of trying to stick to like almost like a regimen or something. It's so much better. I was talking about that with Mike earlier, like I think yesterday or 2 days ago. It's just like how
That's-
we are.
That's basically what you guys are creating here.
Yeah.
You just told me a story before we started that sounded like a story. If you was an artist, you're showing it. That was a real story.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's so. I'm more intrigued by that now when I talk to people. Like after all this, is like I want to know why.
the background information
Yeah.
behind everything.
And you notice like when it's real and you meet somebody, you don't gotta ask.
Mm-hmm.
They just tell you. Like you just told me,
It's just a
and
conversation.
that made
comes
me want to
out.
do it even more. I'm like, oh, I'm a part of this story now.
Hey, that's lit. That's a great way to think about it.
Yeah.
How about working with some other people? Like when you worked with Rook, you guys sat down all for Shoot to Kill. He said that was the first time he sat down with the producer and worked on an entire album together. Can you talk about that a little?
That experience was fun.
Like,
Like
was that the first time you did that too, or had you sat down?
every session I do was always everybody who ever met me, who ever worked with me, they always saw me do it on the spot.
Lit. Yeah. Okay.
Like always.
Mm-hmm.
I was always in that from the beginning. But with him, we just like we did it in a short amount of sessions, but it came from being around each other for like 2 months.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so like you got that time to have the experience with them, and then you
Yeah,
made
like
it.
to vibe with them. So then when it was time to make the music, you'll go to the studio, boom, 2 done. Go
Mhm.
again, boom, 1 done. Then
Just
the rest is
keep on
done.
getting it through. Yeah, and then all of a sudden you look past a couple sessions and you got 7 songs or whatever already done.
And you're basically done.
Yeah.
And the way I like making music is I don't believe in having to record 100 songs to pick 10 or 12.
You just
that's
want to
like-
get the diamonds out there.
That's a lot of energy like that you're wasting.
Mm-hmm.
So I focus as much as I can until one song is till it's complete. And from doing that, it made me able to do the songs much quicker.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start recording 3 songs, and then when a vibe leaves me, I jump to a new one. Then I come right back, and I'll finish all 3 of them. But sometimes that's what you got to do to
Yeah.
find the energy that you want. And that's what I'm learning about music even more. I understand now when everybody always just say, yo, it's deeper than music. It is. Like, this shit takes you into another world when you can do it all by yourself.
Yeah.
I can't say it's the same for everybody, but I looked up stories of other artists that do how I'm doing it, and Party Next Door is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what made me understand why I liked his music so much.
Because it was all his.
It's all him. All the energy is all him. Even when he's not, even when you see it like a producer, co-producer on something on it, you could still tell that he's doing it piece by piece.
Like he had the influence too.
Yeah, he's doing it piece by piece. Like right now, I can't even hear artists on my music anymore.
Mm-hmm. You can just hear yourself.
Yeah, that's how weird it is.
But I mean, that's almost a good thing because you're just getting hungry. That's
Pretty
sweet,
much,
bro.
pretty much.
When did you meet Wade Matthews to work on that project?
We met through one of our friends named Ryo. He was his manager. He had a studio in Brooklyn.
I just saw Ryo post something about a podcast studio in Brooklyn, actually.
Yeah, he has that there at his studio too.
Cool.
Yeah, but it was the same situation. I
Mhm.
pulled up one day. I just started playing the melody. He went to the corner and started humming.
Yep.
And then that's
You
when
got a voice, bro.
he's good. He knows how to make music.
Yeah. What about Rob? I see you're wearing his hat.
Yeah, Write the Dream.
Right
yeah.
to Dream, man. But you got Tables Turn, I Think We Lost the Culture, and then the stuff off of It's Too Late at the Wake. There's like, when did you meet Rob? Was that through Bria and Michi?
I met him through them the first time when they did an event in New Haven.
Mm-hmm.
Then I met him again when I was working with Rook. Like Rook was
Okay.
doing a video shoot. I think it was Ben's for my birthday.
Yep.
And I
remember that.
happened to be in the area when they were shooting, so they told me to pull up, and we was just there all day chilling. And that was the first time we actually like spoke because we was all around each other all day, which is the best way
Yeah,
to meet somebody.
exactly.
Like,
Just to like spend that time together all day, especially like you said at a video shoot, because you're just like you're there. There's nothing else you can do except like talk with the people there.
yeah, it was basically it was like the universe set it up that way. If you think about it,
It's perfect.
yeah, it was set up that way.
And you guys make great music together too. I've seen like a connection. Like I started talking with Rob like a couple months ago, and I've just been watching the progression. And every time I saw that he made music with you, I was just hyped because I saw I was a CT artist, and I was just like, wow, these guys like really are working together like seamlessly.
Yeah,
man.
I did it with him the same way we did it with Rook.
Mm-hmm.
So the more I went to the studio, the bigger the connection got.
Mm-hmm.
So then it got to a point where I didn't even have to be at the studio. I already knew what he wanted to rap on,
Yeah.
and that's how most of the other songs came about like that.
Word. What was the biggest lesson you've learned from all these artists that you've had come in the studio with you?
That I am the person I'm looking for.
That's a great answer. There's no like, you got everything with you. You got the keys. What DJ Khaled was saying.
Facts.
So going back to your I Am Music instrumental album, what emotions were you trying to convey with each beat in this project as it went throughout this evolution?
I feel like that instrumental project was like me saying I'm tired of being a producer, like dead ass.
Okay.
Cause I was feeling like that in November.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like everything I was doing with people, like it wasn't my music.
Oh,
That makes
okay.
sense.
It
You know what I'm
was
saying?
like
Like I couldn't make you be. I couldn't make people become what I saw, or like me seeing them. I'm seeing you. If I'm working with you right now and you're telling me a story, I'm seeing this shit in a bigger warehouse for yourself.
mm-hmm.
So I'm always gonna envision the future for whoever I'm working with,
Yup.
and it's not easy to make them see it now so they could grow. So then you
They
get
can't get into your mind and see the bigger picture that you're
Yeah.
envisioning. I understand that
Yes.
completely. It's hard to get everybody on the same page at the same time. So like how you're saying, if you have that bigger picture, if you're just doing everything by yourself and you don't have to show that picture to anybody else, you can just keep doing it.
Yeah, I couldn't create the sound that I just did for myself
Mm-hmm.
for somebody else.
It just
Because
it couldn't
they're not
work
even
that
gonna
way.
be comfortable enough to even try what I'm doing vocally with their voice. They're gonna feel like they're weird.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
So
Yeah.
if you can't let go fully to make the music, you're not gonna evolve.
You just got to be free flowing.
Exactly.
And that's actually a term. There's a term. It's a Taoist philosophy term. It's called being Wu Wei, and to be Wu Wei means to just go with the flow and to not do anything. So if there's like a current, you don't go against the current. You
still.
just be still. Exactly.
Let it come to you.
And that's how they say that there's the universe and the universe unfolds. I'm not a Taoist, but I just took a class on this. And so when the universe unfolds and you're letting it unfold by itself, that is yourself being Wu Wei. Or I think that's exactly how it is. But yeah, it's the best thing is to just be Wu Wei and let the world go on it yourself.
I'm about to be Wu Wei with the new music.
Hey, bro, I'm glad you like that. So are there any other CT artists that you'd like to collab with now that you are an artist yourself?
For right now, probably Dave Phoenix. I was gonna collab.
That'd
with
be a
him.
great like collab.
Yeah, I was gonna collab with him on the just on the production side.
Mm-hmm.
But then now that I do what I'm doing now, it makes sense.
You two would go together perfect because talking to Dave, he was like, he's a real just like genius. He's an introvert. He likes to like work on everything by himself. Like he has that vibe for everything, the same vibe, and you can just tell it's the Dave Phoenix energy. And just like you're saying with your shit, it's so like that'd be perfect because then it's just two minds both on the same page, and that'd be fire. Anybody else?
Not right now.
That's perfect. Dave is like, that's a great way to go. I'd love to hear that. So what's next for you? Do you have a project coming out after Love Games? Like, are we waiting till 2020? What are you thinking?
The singles I dropped were gonna be a part of a project called Alpha Waves.
Mm-hmm.
But
You had a single called Tidal Wave. I don't know if that was
yeah,
gonna be off that too.
I was thinking about that. That Tidal Wave was, I think that's the first thing I dropped. Like the freestyle, right? Yeah, the
Oh
freestyle.
yeah, 4 months
That's
ago.
the
Yeah.
first one I dropped before I started like really going crazy
Mhm.
with the music. But I'm not gonna drop the Alpha Waves on anymore. I think I'm gonna just go straight to like trying to record an album this time.
Okay. And
Yeah.
make it the big project.
Yeah, just make it a big project. With everything that's going on now, I feel like I'm about to, like I said, I feel like I'm about to create a new sound.
Yeah. You're the artist. You're the producer. You're the samples now. I guess. Like, damn, bro, you got everything. There's
You gonna see.
there's no reason not to. So, you have. Where do you see yourself in 1 year, 5 years, and 10 years? And with this project, are we gonna see it in 1 year?
I think this project is what's gonna like. This is gonna be the project that puts me into the light.
Mm-hmm. Finally, they can
And
see.
then after I drop that, I'm gonna answer the 1 year, the 5 year, the 10 years. But I'm gonna tell
I
you
like
about
that.
right now.
Okay. I like that, bro. I can't wait for the project. So it's sometime late
Before the
2019.
year's over,
Cool.
I'm definitely gonna be
Like
done.
November, December, probably.
Probably right before the summer ends.
Oh, word. Even sooner than I expected. That's perfect.
We'll see.
While everybody's going off to school. All right, bet.
That would be a perfect setup.
Yeah. See, that's when people
Yeah.
need music because they're gonna be walking to class. Got to put it on the personal playlist, man.
Yeah, I think I should do it right before school starts.
That's perfect. Like August, September, something like that.
Yep.
So, do you have any more shout outs before we end today's interview?
Shout out to all the new fans that I have and the future fans. Rob Markman, my boy Cortez, my boy Skrills, and everybody that's riding with me. Daniela, Kristen, my little brother.
Hey.
Everybody that was like, that's riding with me
Yeah.
during this growth, even you too.
Thank you.
I saw you from the beginning. But everybody that believes in what I'm doing,
Appreciate that, bro.
I got to give all of y'all a shout out. And God for giving me
Yeah.
the gift.
Which I am. That's why you got the name.
Good luck.
Well, thank you very much, man. This ends tonight's episode.